So who was featured? There were 22 people of color featured and 18 white people featured. There was 20 women and 18 men when breaking down via gender. The more particular racial breakdown that I did to analyze the data, I do want to say I think is a little flawed. I ended up making South Asian women a separate category than brown racially ambiguous women. And that was particularly because the South Asian woman that was featured in one of the advertisements had part of the styling and seemingly targeting of the ad towards, or at least it featured her cultural background. So for that reason, I made a separate category where I do think that if you controlled for that and included her in brown women, that these breakdowns via race might change a little bit. It was interesting that brown men, racially ambiguous brown men, were the largest representation as far as people of color, yet white men and women were still the largest, the biggest racial demographic as far as people featured in the advertisements. Of note, brown-skinned black men and women were equally represented percentage-wise, 5.3% of the time. And another thing to note is that the brown-skinned black women that were featured were in non-speaking roles and in background roles or service roles, whereas brown-skinned black men were not. They were in more directly featured roles where they were sort of the center of the advertisement. And we'll dive into this more in the next slides. But it is of note that it was only brown-skinned black people that were featured, not dark-skinned black people that were featured. And we will get into that in the next slide.